Well, welcome in to Bronco Chat. I'm David Gentili. Sure hope everyone is staying healthy and safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm happy to be joined today by the head coach of Santa Clara softball, Gina Carbonatto. Coach, first of all, how is everything going with you up there? Are you able to stay healthy and safe during these times?
Yeah, I'm still in Santa Clara area, just less than a mile from campus. It's beautiful. It's warm. The weather's gotten really nice the last few days. Campus is gorgeous right now. I'm getting out for runs and walks. Oftentimes, around campus where the roses are in bloom, and it's just a beautiful time right now. And just sad and unfortunate that we don't get to experience what we would normally be experiencing right now, which is playing softball games. So the field's quiet, the campus is quiet, but it's gorgeous as ever, and it's nice to be here. I feel safe. I hope that everyone else is safe as well and staying healthy. But it's definitely it's kind of different around here right now. Quiet and people are staying at home as much as possible. So that's the best thing for us right now.
Well, as one of the spring sports, you were one of the sports, as you mentioned, that had the season shortened. We'll talk about the 2020 season in a bit, but I want to start off by asking, what is the day-to-day like? What kind of things are you doing with the program right now?
Our team's awesome. I mean, they really have done a good job. And I think that, one of the things that we say is it's okay to just be okay right now. And we're struggling, nobody is great. We're not together. We're not playing, which is hard. But at the same time, we're connecting in a lot of different ways. And yes, it's virtual, but we're doing some fun ways of virtual connecting. So some are player-led, some are coach-led. And I think that's a cool and unique thing about Santa Clara softball is their team really has a good bond about them and within their teammates and classes. They all live together. So that's hard that now they're apart, but they have their own group messages amongst classes. We do player-led virtual hangouts. So every 2 weeks they have a new teammate that they hang out with. Sometimes it's making smoothies together. Sometimes it's drinking coffee or tea. We had one of our players who lives in the Midwest show a Midwest sunset to another player who's actually on the East Coast. So unique ways for them to do some virtual hangouts that they normally would be going to Benson and hanging out with each other, or boba tea, which is what they usually do when they're local. So they're still getting that in. It just looks a little bit different right now. And then we have some more like small groups. We put them in small groups this spring where they check in on each other academically and help each other create study groups, which would again normally be happening amongst their roommates or even their suite mates. So they've kind of created that on their own, things that the coaches don't get involved in. And then the coaches get a little bit more involved. We have a voluntary book club. And then we do monthly big team meetings where we had like a guest speaker last month, which was really neat. A former softball player who played for Team USA as well. And she spoke to our team, which was neat just to hear from somebody else who played at a high level and got a little insight from her. And then we have some other really cool connections where the team runs in their small groups, they run activities. So we get on Zoom, and our last activity session was quite entertaining. We had a scavenger hunt, so a home scavenger hunt. They would say what the thing was. For example, like a lava lamp was the funniest one. So who has a lava lamp anymore? But our players are at home, and one of our players ran off to her brother's bedroom and came back with a lava lamp. So there was different ways you had to leave your computer there, and you had to sprint and come back. And the only one I got was a ketchup package because I was in the kitchen, and so I just had to open the fridge. But everybody there was creative, and another group ran an activity where we played Jeopardy. So they had a whole presentation, different questions, topics, movies, sports, and we had our teams broken up from classes, so freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and then coaches, and their coaches got beat pretty badly. So those two activities are fun, and we're looking forward to some more activities coming next week. So that's pretty cool. We're doing some videos, professor shout outs. So it's Teacher Appreciation Week this week, and we've been posting our professor shout outs for what they've done for us, and the ones that have maybe gone above and beyond during this time or in the past, somebody who's mentored one of our players. It's just nice to remember that when you're grateful for what you do have and for the people in your life, it's easier to get through tough times like this. So remembering that Santa Clara has some amazing professors, and that's why so many people are drawn to come to Santa Clara, is just you're going to be taught at a high level from very, very great professors who are good at teaching. We have a great teaching environment here. You don't get taught by TAs, you get taught by the professors and the researchers themselves. And so I think that that's been something that's fun. And when you're grateful, it's easier to stay positive.
Well, that all sounds great. It sounds like a great way to be able to connect with the student athletes, learn a little bit more, share your appreciation and your thanks. Very well rounded and a very cool snapshot inside the program right now. So we appreciate you sharing that with us. Well, is the team still finding ways to give back and volunteer during this time?
Yeah, a little more challenging, definitely a different volunteer atmosphere right now, but we've got a group of athletes that have been volunteering with a local middle school and running some Zoom activities for the athletes there, as well as we have someone who's sending out assistance programs to help those in need in the Bay Area. So getting information out to people and just spending time helping those we can. We have one of our players' mothers is a elementary PE teacher. So a group of people that are going to try to jump into their Zoom activities and just be present and showing that we care about what you're doing and we care about being active. So those are a few of the ways that, our team has done all of this on their own. They're very active in our community. And although it's different and it's not in person right now, they're still finding ways and opportunities, and people are still reaching out to the players in order to be present for others in this time. So that's been really cool to see.
Well, you got 24 games in the 2020 season. As you look back on it, what things stand out to you as great memories and great on-field moments in your first year as head coach of the Broncos?
Yeah, so on field was quite fun. We learned a lot in a short period of time. We started off in January by passing our conditioning test, all 20 people, and that set us up for success this year. In the first 3 weeks of season, we were off to our best program start since 2002, which was fantastic. We ended the shortened season with the highest winning percentage since 2006. So we were winning and we were believing, and that was a really important thing for this program to start progressing and continuing on an upward trajectory. We had 4 players that just offensively were going off. They were on pace to finish in the top 10 in batting average in a single season program history. So there was some really, really good things happening. We had one of our pitchers who, before a season-ending injury was off to her best start and the second best ERA in program history for a single season. We did have a really cool offensive stat. We had the best team batting average at 285 in program history. So there were some really good things that we had started really well. We saw some promise. We had some bumps in the road, as everyone does, dealing with injuries, dealing with some, question mark, like, oh, how are we going to get through this adversity? And yet they were pushing forward. And then the biggest adversity comes and we didn't get to actually outlive it because the season got canceled. And we all know that was pretty devastating for everyone across the country, not just in softball, but spring sports, winter championships. So we will press forward and move on and continue to grow throughout this time, and we'll be better for it in the long run. So we look forward to next season and building on the successes that we had on the field this year.
Well, a successful start to your tenure at Santa Clara, and a lot of that has to do with senior leadership. It's always a key component when your student athletes are taking the reins and leading by example and doing all of those good things. What did you see out of your senior class that led to having that successful start to this year?
Well, first off, fantastic group of 4 seniors. They were leaders. They were successful on the field and off the field. And I think the greatest thing about them is to recognize that they had 3 head coaches in their 4-year career, and they learned from each of them. And I think that's something that, I just got lucky to have such a great senior class, good leaders, good softball players. But they learned from the previous coaching staffs and Coach Mize and Coach Dodd, and then kind of got to put it together this year. And I think that that's, giving respect where respect is due. And they led their teammates, they led on the field. And honestly, I couldn't be more proud of a group that wanted to be successful and wanted to keep growing this program and committed so much time and effort and energy into Santa Clara and being Broncos. And, it's fun to have a group that is, each has their different ways. One is quiet, but leads really, really strongly when she does talk. One is very loud and will always ask questions, and has that confident leadership. One is a little bit more like when you're on the field, you want to watch her because she's going to be the one that gets stuff done. And, one also is differently, already has her job and has set up her job for her career and has had that prepared, through being a business school major here. So they're just doing so many great things and have led this team in so many great ways. And I'm just really proud of them for staying strong, proud of them for caring and continuing to love the game and love their program and love their teammates, even through some challenging times.
I want to jump into your background real quick. You were a standout player at Pacific. You played professionally for a couple of years, and now a long coaching tenure leading up to your time at Santa Clara. And I want to hone in on when did the idea first spark for you that coaching was a possibility and something that you were interested in?
Well, I wanted to be a teacher when I was really young. So I've kind of dabbled in teaching, but really it's just teaching sport. So that's what coaching is, teaching people and teaching sport. My freshman year of college, I was having a great season and I was loving sport, and I like all sports, and softball just happened to be the one that, I got the best opportunity to continue playing. And I had a fantastic coach, and that was Coach Tar, who is now the head coach at University of Washington. She was my assistant coach at Pacific. And I talked a lot about career with her, and I was like, I don't want to be a softball coach. And so we had some good talks, and she said, how about a strength coach? Because I loved the strength side. I loved working out. And then I didn't have to be a softball coach. And when I say I didn't have to be, it's a hard grind. You're on the road a lot, you're recruiting a lot, and it's a challenging job, but I wanted to be around people and I wanted to coach people. So I actually quickly said, I'm not going to be a softball coach, but deep down I knew I was going to be a softball coach. So I tried strength and conditioning for a year. I was an intern up at University of Washington. And then shortly after just became a volunteer coach at University of Washington for Coach Tar. And then I ended up winning a national championship the next year. So then I was like, wow, this coaching thing is quite fun. And, it just progressed, and I did step away and taught high school PE for a couple of years, thinking that, the lifestyle of coaching was going to be really challenging. And so I taught high school PE, and I just love college age athletes. They're special, they're unique. So I found my way back in really quite quickly, and spent the last, several years here in Northern California coaching at Pacific, my alma mater, as well as UC Davis, and then got to make the move to become a head coach here at Santa Clara, and all are amazing academic institutions, everyone I've worked at. So I like working with high achieving athletes, both on the field and in the classroom. So it kind of worked out well, but I did all I could to not be a coach. But it just was in my DNA, really. I was bound to do it, and I love it, and I'm passionate about coaching and teaching people. So that's how I ended up here, and I'm happy to be here. It's really, really been a fantastic transition. Everybody working with me, above me, next to me, below me, everybody has just been fantastic to make the transition to becoming a head coach. Quite seamless, but quite challenging. There's just more, everything, the decision making, I've really enjoyed it. But I'm a player's coach, so I rely on my players to help make decisions. I give my leadership team, a lot of responsibility, and rely on them for, connections and relationships, and making sure that we're in a good, positive, healthy environment as a team, as a group, as well as a coaching staff. So it's been quite fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Well, there are certain things about head coaching that you can only know once you're in the role and you get that firsthand experience. With that in mind, what are some things that you were learning as the season was going on?
Oh man, there was a bunch that I was learning. One was making a lineup, trying to win a game. You know, I always got to give my opinion. My opinion was just take it or leave it. And now it was, you know, finally the decisions were mine. You know, do I call certain plays? Who plays in each game? When to take a pitcher out? When to put in a new one? What kind of hitters are going to be successful against the pitchers that are coming? So before being a head coach, you just kind of got to give opinions, and you know, you think you have great opinions, and so you give them. And when the decisions are yours, you know, it becomes a little bit more, I guess, stressful, but also it can be really rewarding as well when something works out and when people are successful. So that's the joys and also the challenges.
All right, Coach, we'll end it on this. Shelter in place for you. I want to start off with just kind of a quick and either or yes or no question. Are you generally more of a homebody or more somebody that likes to go out and be out and about?
I don't like being home. So I'm more of a get out and about. I like exploring. I like being outside. So I'm definitely not a homebody.
Okay, so what sorts of things are you particularly missing? You said, man, I would just love to go out and do this right now.
Yeah, so being in a new city, like Santa Clara is a great place, and I don't even get to go see all the food and restaurants, all the different activities that are here. Nothing's happening right now when I finally have some time to go explore. So even just the city life, I like going out camping and hiking, and you know, even that's been quite canceled. So the beaches are close and I can't go to the beaches. Well, I mean, I guess they're kind of opening up because people are going, but I think there's just so much that this area has to offer that I want to go venture into. And I'm not getting that opportunity right now because it's just not the right thing to do. And I got to stay healthy and do my part. But there's just a lot. I love being active. I love being on my feet. So I'm seated more now than I probably ever have been.
What are you doing in terms of just having fun around the place or finding ways to kill time? What kinds of things are you doing around your place?
Well, I go for a walk or a run every day. So that helps. Sometimes, you know, it could be a long run. Sometimes it could be a short walk, but I'm getting out of the house, bought some lounge chairs for the small little deck that we have here. Get some sunbathing in on the deck, trying to eat dinners outside if we can. Let's see, not enough not enough activities around here. Saw the rose garden the other day, went for a walk around the rose garden, which is in bloom, so that was nice. Yeah.
That's the head coach of Santa Clara softball, Gina Carbonatto. Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thanks for having us. Everybody, you stay safe. We're happy that we're as safe as possible here in Santa Clara in the time being. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to Bronco Chat. Go to SantaClaraBroncos.com for the latest in SCU athletics and find us on social media. Look for the handles at SCU Broncos. Thanks for watching.